What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with another episode of Divorce Sisters, Season 1, Episode 8, Birds of a Feather. Y'all, this is the mid-season finale, so I'm not sure when it's going to come back on, but it did leave us at a cliffhanger, okay? So before I start, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video that I drop. Y'all, please make sure you are liking the videos so I can stay in the algorithm of things. I thank y'all so very much. Also, Sunday, I will be live back on the Black Girls Den podcast to discuss the mid-season finale, episode 8 of Divorce Sisters. So y'all, I reposted on my community wall, so y'all go around there, click the notification bell button, and we will see y'all Sunday, 7 Eastern. 7 Central, 8 Eastern. So y'all meet us there. Beat us there. Don't meet us there. Y'all know. Anyway, yeah, so y'all, let's just come on, jump right on in, right? So y'all, the episode picked back up with Rashida asking Naomi, does this make you feel better? Because, Naomi aired them out last week, right? And so she said, I feel better. I feel fine. This is what Naomi said. I was like, okay. So Rashida told Naomi, I know you're hurting, I know you're hurting and you want everyone else to hurt, but this is where I get off on this ride. I think Rashida had it. So Rashida then said, Naomi was like, what you mad at me for? I'm not the man sleeping with your man. Rashida asked the other ladies if they believed it or not. Of course, Bridget and Geneva was like, no, we don't believe it. But I could tell with Bridget's look, she kind of, not Bridget, Geneva. Geneva believed it, but she just gonna ride with her friend and say no. So Tiffany was like, well, it's been rumored in these streets that they are pretty close, okay? So Rashida was like, y'all knew and y'all didn't tell me. Naomi was like, well, baby, we all thought you knew, okay? We thought you knew. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's this sister circle that very important information. Even though your homegirl is probably in the dark or not, but you can't assume she's in the dark. But I also understand that a lot of people don't like to talk to their homegirl because their homegirl be like, y'all just hating, y'all just mad. And it depends on where it comes from and whom said tea comes from. That friend will or will not believe her. Anyway, Bridget said it ain't true. Naomi was like, the gaslighting is real at y'all church. Listen, I agree. It's a lot of gaslighting going on. So Rashida was like, listen, let's just take it to the playground. Okay, I don't have time for this. So she called Jefferson and Myron into the house and asked Naomi, I need you to play that tape. So she played rolled that beautiful beam footage. Jefferson, like the way he was looking at Myron when that video was playing, because I was like, ooh, if looks can unalive somebody, Myron will drop down to the floor. All right. So Jefferson asked Myron, like, what is this? And Myron was like, I was talking to my wife. And Naomi asked, listen, how long y'all been sleeping together? Jefferson asked everybody else, do y'all really believe that I will sleep with another individual, another man? So Rashida asked Myron if he's in love with Pastor. And he said no. And I'm just looking at him like, sir, do you think we have boo-boo the fool written on our forehead? Like, this whole conversation, whomever you're having a conversation with, it's confusing. And whomever you're talking about, it's clear you're talking about the pastor because you're stuttering, you're not sure of yourself, you're very unsure, just be honest. So Pastor said, listen, I'm not gay, I'm not bisexual. He said, I love women, All right. And he said, I love this woman. Let me be clear. Okay. He said, y'all have me wrong. I ain't that dude. Rashida told me, Naomi, like, I'm done. At this point, she said, and as long as the rest of y'all sit in this abuse, like he abused her, I was like, oh. 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 Like, I just didn't know how to take that part. Like, you're aware that your friend is hurt. I get that. And hurt people hurt people. You're aware that your friend has been abused. I get what Rashida was saying. I get what she was saying. But I was like, oh wow. How do you take that? But then there's consequences to your actions, Naomi. You do crazy stuff. And when people are responding the way they respond, you want to act like it's so outrageous. Like, why would they do that to me? Because you're acting unhinged. Like, I get that you're mad, and that's fine. You can be mad. But what do you do in that anger? And I think that's what we want to see better for Naomi. Anyway, so the police showed up at Naomi's house with papers. She's been served, and Jefferson is suing her for $50 million for assault. Well, she only have $37 million. So he's trying to like really get her. Like, that means not only do she have to give, if she lose, she have to pay him all that money, as well as sell that house, like, and the car. Like, he's trying to leave her with nothing. So Pastor Jeff, they were in the car and asked Rashida, am I that naive, sir? Yeah. And they laughed, they talked, and look like they're headed more in a more positive direction as it relates to their relationship. She tells him like that he needs to talk to Myron, and he was like, well, I'm gonna fire him. And she was like, no, you can't do that, because you don't want him to retaliate in no type of way. And Jefferson, I wrote in my notes, y'all, Jefferson, stop making us want to like you. We didn't want to like you, but we kind of starting to like you. Okay, we want to stand firm, and we want to stand on business. Jefferson, you making us want to like you. Anyway, she talks to Jefferson about their son, and she wants to make him take a drug test. Rashida was like, I need you to talk to him, but I don't need you to be like, me. She said, I want you to cuss him out. And he was like, cuss him out? She was like, yeah, because I know you be cussing at people. Girl, not you, the cussing pastor, sir. No, sir. So Bridget and Tiffany are riding in a car. They're, on their way back to the church. And she says she notices how Myron is always looking at Pastor. Well, Bridget, when you were in the house and they asked you if you suspect anything, if you believed anything, you just piped up and said no, because he's the pastor and you're just supposed to protect him. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Y'all gotta stop doing that. If that's what you saw, then that's what you saw. So we found out that Tiffany is actually paying $600 in alimony a month to that ex-husband of hers. So Myron is sitting in his car. He's crying. He's sitting in front of the church. And Bridget gets out the car, go to Myron's car, and sorry y'all, hold on. And so she asked Myron to get out the car. He gets out, and she was like, listen, are you in love with no? He was like, am I gonna get fired? And she was like, no, you just really need to be honest. Show up to work the next day and be honest. And she was like, I'm asking you, are you in love with the pastor? So then he denied it again. And she was like, who were you talking to? He didn't want to say that. She was like, listen, if you want to tell me when you're ready to keep it a buck with me, then you come to me. And so she just kept asking, like, am I going to lose my job? And so she was like, Just show up to work. Be honest with them. She was like, listen, I gotta go. My feet hurt. You keep holding me back and I'm trying to leave. But y'all know she didn't leave. She saw Pastor and them roll up, so she kind of checked on them for a second. So I just really want y'all to know, y'all got Myron. Y'all got my boy Myron shaking like booty meat. Like he think he about to leave it. He about to get fired. And that was Pastor's best assistant. But Pastor had to have a come to Jesus with him. And Myron really need to understand some things. So apparently somebody sent Pastor an email and talking about somebody's in love with you. That was early when everybody was at Naomi's house. So apparently Geneva's gonna track the IP address to find out who was sending Pastor those messages. So Tiffany, we get over to Tiffany's house, her phone ring, and of course it's Javon. Y'all, she acts so parched when it comes to Javon. Like, it's been 2 days, Mom. 2 days. And you acting like this. Girl. I mean, I get it. She hadn't been with anybody. But what's irritating me is both of her friends won't even tell her the truth. Tell her the truth so she can leave him alone. Anyway, Javon was like, listen, this is just a personal call. I call to check on you, but it's basically a personal call. I love the house and I want to put in an offer for the house. And now he decided, so y'all, Javon asked Tiffany, if I asked you to go on a trip with me, would you go? And so she was like, well, no, she said, what would you say? He was like, she said, yeah, I'll go. Okay. And so he was like, well, I want us to go to Italy with William and Geneva. I said, my God. So Tiffany said she has to watch. So then her whole tune changed. She was like, well, I have to watch Anika. And then she said, no, he was like, well, maybe Rashida can do it. First of all, you don't know Rashida from a can of paint. So for you to suggest that she do it is unhinged and insane to me. And so she told him, well, listen, we just met. And Tiffany, at this point, I feel like you know what's up now. Like, you are willfully choosing to be a dumbass at this point. Like, you see how the both of them react. You see everywhere he go, everywhere he is, it just seemed like Geneva is always around. Like, you see the pattern, you see what it is, but you are choosing to ignore what is happening in front of you. Okay. So she said, I will call Geneva. He tells her no because she might try to talk you out of it. And so he said, I'm going to just talk to William. And I'm just looking at Tiffany like, girl, you know this is wrong. Like, there is something in your gut, in your nervous system that is telling you this is wrong. This is not okay. This is not okay. Like, no. And the fact that you already agreed to watch your friend's baby, like, you need to stand on that. Anyway, we get over to the hospital with Jefferson and his wife, and we get a visit from Naomi. She come in there with some black flowers, and they get into it, and she's antagonizing, I'm sorry, not Jefferson, Franklin. So she's antagonizing, Naomi is now antagonizing Franklin because she's mad because, of course, she got served for that lawsuit. And so he tells her to leave. Basically, he calls the nurse so they can, throw her out. So anyway, in the next scene, Tiffany called Rashida and tell her Javon wants her to take a trip to Italy with William and Geneva. Rashida was like, you just met him, and why would you do that? Tiffany said, he just wanted to get to know her. And they can watch you dance inside. Shout out to the Players Club. Like, I just had to say that. He can get to know you over the phone. He can even take you to a local restaurant to get to know you somewhere in the Atlanta area. Like, Tiffany, please, I need you to just get all the way out of my face, because again, you are willfully choosing to be obtuse in this entire situation. So whatever happens moving forward, it is what it is. So Tiffany think that it's a good idea for her to go to Italy to infiltrate her best friend, in her husband's trip. And you knew the premise of them going on this trip is for them to kind of rekindle their relationship and really fix their relationship. And so she was like, well, I was thinking you can watch Anika. And Rashida was like, no. And she was like, I just think you need to be careful with Javon, and I really think you need to get to know him more. So Tiffany was like, you sound like Geneva. But Rashida was like, I'm right. I know, even though we sound alike, I'm right in this. I need you to really get to know him before you do any of that with him. So we find out Hakeem meets up with Naomi at the bank, and she actually have $1 million in cash in a safety deposit box. So Hakeem apparently is on probation for 15 years. He has a daughter. He's from a 15-year bid for attempted murder, right? He has a daughter, he has a daughter, and you know, she was like, I got to know you before you even made it to my front door. So she knew everything about him, right? So in the next scene, let me say this. He was like, well, what if I take this money from you? Yada, yada, yada. Like, she was like, no. And he was like, I need you to do the job that has been asked of. And I want to say at this moment, I think he turned her down. Like, she just, oh, Lord, sorry, y'all. She's just doing way too much for my liking. Like, it's just messy. She's messy. So, and I'm not saying in a gossipy way. Just right now, her life is too messy. She's not seeing clear. That's all I'm saying. So Myron goes into Pastor's office, and he was like, you don't have to worry about it. I'll clean out my desk. Myron, shut your dumb ass up. Like, Myron just be pissing me off. Like, just keep it a buck. So Pastor was like, I'm going to let you keep your job. And he was like, who are you on the phone with? And he was like, it was another man at the church he was telling all of this stuff to. And he doesn't want to tell Pastor who the guy was because he doesn't want him to lose his job. So apparently it's one of the people that work in the church who he been talking to about this whole him being in love with Pastor. And so Pastor told him, like, listen, I need you to sort and ship some things out with a therapist. And Pastor then asked him, hey, are you gay or are you bisexual? Child, he said, neither. I love my wife. I said, Myron, please, your story keep changing. Everything about it keep changing. Just be honest. That is it. So over at William and Geneva's house, William brings Geneva downstairs and was like, hey, I have a surprise for you. I hired a chef. And Javon's stupid ass is in the kitchen, and he's cooking flank steaks. And I'm like, what else do you do? Like, you are everywhere, and it's giving stalkery right now. And so Javon asked Geneva if she wanted to taste, and she was like, well, no, I'll wait for dinner, right? So then Javon said, oh, well, I won't get a chance to see your beautiful face when you bite into this juicy meat. William dumbass gonna say, I'll try it. I was like, William, I need you to land, okay? I need you to land, okay? You're not landing enough for me. And then William tells Geneva about Javon wanting to go to Italy with them on their, for their trip. At this point, Geneva is extremely pissed at this point because William just not saying no. Like, you're just allowing this man to just come in. So, what's her name? Sarah brought Anika in there because they heard Anika screaming. Sarah carried Anika in and she was crying. And she fell off the swing. And so they, of course, they rushed to get her to the hospital. So in the next scene, Rashida walks into her bedroom to find her son rummaging through their things. And he was like, what are you looking for? He was like, a tie. He lying. And he got his hand balled up because he got something in his hand. And so she was like, what you got in your hand? And he was like, nothing. She was like, open your hand. She took his hand, opened it up, and it was a wad of cash. And so she asked him, like, are you using drugs? He said no. And so she was like, well, I need you to go give me a sample in this cup. Of course, he get offended. And then he tried to take the money from his mama and he threatens her. He grabs her arm and he realized what he's doing. And Rashida, while all of this is going on, Rashida is in shock. Her daughter is in the door watching in shock. And he just ran out the room. He was like, don't make me hurt you. And so, she was just in shock and shaking and like, oh my God, like it was probably that moment of, my son just did this. Like, I bet a lot of stuff was going through her head, because, ooh, child. And so the daughter walked in. She was like, Mom, are you okay? And she was like, yeah, but you can clearly, visibly see that Rashida is in shock. And she just sat there, right? So we get over to the hospital. It's William, Geneva, Sarah, and Javon. And Sarah is crying profusely, apologizing profusely to William and Geneva. And William is giving her so much grace. He was like, it is okay. It's okay. It was an accident. She was like, I just turned my head for 1 second. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. She said, she was just crying at this point. So Geneva tells Sarah, you should have been careful because Anika was a preemie. And tell her, listen, just go. And she was like, no, I would just want to stay to see if she's all right. Geneva was like, no, just go home. It's okay. We'll take care of it. And Sarah gets up and leaves and she's frantic. And William tells Geneva it was a mistake. And as Sarah is leaving, Tiffany arrives in the emergency room. And Geneva asked Tiffany, what are you doing here? Tiffany was like, are you serious? Like, I'm concerned about Anika. And so she was like, did you tell the other girls? And she was like, no, I didn't. She said, good, don't. She was like, y'all can leave. And so Tiffany was like, we're here because we want to be here. I'm here because I want to be here. And so Geneva was like, I don't want to argue with you. I just need to be here with my family. Well, she's already pissed off because, she's with Javon. Coupled with the fact that now she's finding out that Javon invited him and Tiffany on this trip to go to Italy. So she's extremely pissed off. Coupled with the fact that her daughter fell off the swing or whatever. And so Tiffany looked over to William and he was like, there's just nothing I can do. So here come the nurse, right? So she tells them that Anika will need a blood transfusion and that it needs to come from the parents. William said he would do that. He said, I can do it. It's fine. So the nurse suggests that, Geneva. No, I'm sorry, y'all. William said that he would do the give them the blood. The nurse was like, you know what? We'll just get the blood from the blood bank. William was like, what? Okay, what's going on? Why can't y'all take my blood? Geneva at this point is not even paying attention. She's hearing the lady, but it's not registering. Like, bitch, you need to go to the back, okay? So, the nurse is insisting that Geneva do it because she's wanting to have a conversation with Geneva. Like, bitch, this is not that man, baby. What about that baby, though? Okay? Sorry, y'all. And so, Geneva was like, no, the nurse was like, well, I need you to come to the back with me. And so Geneva was like, I'm not going anywhere with you. This doesn't make sense. Tell us what's going on. Okay, bitch. Anika is AB. And so she need an AB donor. William said, baby, my blood type is O. He said, so there is no way his child could be AB. The nurse was like, that is correct. All right. William said, I'm a professor at the college. William said, I am a professor. I know this for a fact. Baby, what in the hell is going on? Okay? What the hell is going on between the sheets in my home? Baby, wait, let me explain. Before you start to point your cane, girl, I'm about to have a fit. Sorry, y'all. Like, the way I was sliding in my cousin voice, I was sliding out my mother clucking chair. Girl, Geneva, tell your husband you slept with this man behind you, in my Medea voice, okay? That man smell like Kente oil. Them sheets smell like Kente. When I tell y'all, I was like, I knew you lied. Girl, I bet y'all ain't going to Italy. Listen, Tyler, do not come here whenever this come back on with no stupid dream or nothing like that. We gonna let this play all the way through like grown people, okay? We gonna let this play through, okay? Child is giving Medea goes to jail to play. Vanessa, tell this man you sleeping with. Vanessa, tell your husband you sleeping with this man. I'm not sleeping with. Child, it is every bit of Medea goes to jail. Child, when your girl came in and told Sonny about the baby not being a match, she was like, but Vanessa, what is he talking about? That is your baby, Sonny. I said, listen, I feel bad for William. All right. I feel bad for William. But y'all, we gonna have to wait till they come back, and the mid-season finale has ended here. Y'all, I will see y'all in the next video. I'm actually going to give y'all the 2 episodes of All the Queen's Men, because y'all know mid-season started back today and they dropped 2 episodes. Also, I will give y'all in just like that as well, because I got stuff to say. Okay, so child. See y'all in the next video. Bye.